Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. It's Kathleen from Awakening Meraki. Now, I want to talk about how we reject the masculine, and this is going to probably throw you off a little bit, particularly if you're quite new on the journey. You're still in a level of consciousness where you're still really focused on the physical, everything outside of yourself. And this is a big tip, and I think it will really help if you are new on the journey. It depends whether you're in high addictive energy or not, but if you are, you're starting to come into that energy of like, okay, I've exhausted every other option in the physical, and now it's about tuning in. I want to, I guess, give you a little bit of a tip, because we actually reject our masculine. We pull away from ourself. And I know this is going to be like, what the hell, Kathleen? But this is all about energy. It's about your soul. And there is a masculine and feminine energy, okay? And what happens is that when we reject the masculine, which I know it appears in 3D, like they take off, they pull away and run away. And then we get this, what we often called the runner-chaser dynamic, or the push and pull dynamic. But what's actually playing out there is that once you've had the soul recognition, the ball game shifts. It shifts absolutely complete from looking in the physical world to I now need to come inwards. Now, if you were the one that's out there seeking information, you will be the feminine polarity. There's a slim chance you'll be the masculine polarity, but you're pretty much going to be mostly the feminine listening to this, irrespective of gender. Now, so once that soul recognition's happened, the ball game's shifted, and the way that you approach this is now in a completely different way. It's about you coming inwards and learning that you're the soul, cultivate the connection with your soul, and come into soul alignment, or close to, that we can get. And you do that through layers and layers and layers, okay? But how we reject the masculine is by getting in the mind. So bear in mind, there's just one soul here, and it's yours. Okay. Yes, you share it with another physical incarnation, but I want you to just imagine and visualize that there's just one soul. The soul is whole and perfect. But what happens is, because it's operating in duality, it's incarnated another polarity. The opposite polarity is incarnated in another body. So yes, you have your own masculine and feminine energy, and so do they. And then there's another third energy, and then there's this dominant polarity that we each role play, right? And that's where we're connected. So the way that we reject the masculine is, after soul recognition, I'm talking, is by getting in the mind. Essentially, we get in the mind and we go, what are they doing? What are they saying? What are they thinking? I want you to visualize that as your own masculine pulling away from you, your own energy, your own masculine energy pulling away from you. So all that addictive energy, all the what are they up to? Where are they doing? Like just look, even just the constant seeking on twin flame content, anything where it's directed on where are they and why are they not here and when are they coming back? If that's the intention in behind watching the content, I just want to get clear on. If the intention is to help you shift, it's slightly different. But if the intention is trying to figure this journey out through the mind, you are pulling you are pulling away yourself. You're pulling your masculine away from you. And that is why we go into the soul shock, and it feels like someone's come in and just stabbed you a million times, right? It's incredibly painful. And this is why it's really important that I know it doesn't help because the mind gets activated and the energy's activated and the core wounds are activated and everything's just chaos. But I want to give you this really big tip, is energetically, whether we like this or not, to hear it as a feminine polarity, the more we focus out here, the more we're allowing our own masculine energy to be over there and not where it needs to be. Because remember this, energy grows and expands. The galaxy is growing and expanding, and so does our energy. It grows and expands, okay? And this is now about the soul's journey, the soul's evolutionary process. It's now about, well, it always has been, but now we've been awakened to it, right? We're now awakening to the fact that we're actually a soul, and we've got to shed away these layers. So I know this might be a little bit complex, so hopefully it kind of hits home a little bit, but I want you to picture a circle. Let's just go for this exercise, pink and blue, just because, right? So pink and blue. The blue is all your mind energy, and then the pink is, we'll just call it your soul energy, for example, right? This is just purely for visualizations for those that are feeling you on this journey or really struggling to kind of resonate, is that you get in the mind and then the masculine pulls away, and because you're in the mind about them, they have no choice. So you're letting your masculine energy disappear off you. It's like going out to sea. You need to bring it back. How do you bring it back? Is by calming your energy down. You bring it back by, yes, I know I'm not a big fan of the word detox, but you definitely need a place, time, and a period if you're in high addictive energy where you bring that toxic energy down. And that does mean that you just need to create some space for yourself to do that, because if you don't, you will struggle and you will loop. And when you're out of this energy, honestly, you will do anything to never get back in it again, because you realize how horrible and uncomfortable and toxic and messy it is. And it is for the masculine as well, the physical masculine. So you need to bring your mind energy back onto you. In this phase, meditation is really important, because, and I know we don't all like to meditate, trust me, I was kicking and screaming to meditate, but it does help you bring that energy down. And so then you can start to get into feel the soul a bit more, that presence, and that's where the peace is. So then you can start to see the mind for what it is. You can actually now become the observer of the thoughts. And I know it's scary. I know it's incredibly hard, particularly when all that fear's rising and you're afraid of losing them. But this connection doesn't build in 3D, it builds inside, because it's a soul connection. And so you've got to come back into alignment with soul. And the beautiful thing is that soul is everything. It's your soul signature. It's what you've come here to experience in 3D. It already knows what it needs to bring into you. So it is really a journey of just full surrender to soul. And that comes through layers, and it's a process. This entire journey is a process. Every aspect of it is a process. So I've got sun coming through a tree. I'm just impressed we've got sun, actually. It's been really going off topic, but it's been, it should be like 35, 36 degrees Celsius, and it's been like 10 all January and raining. So anyway, it's meant to be summer. Finally see some sun. Anyway, so yeah, this journey is a process. It is every aspect of it, every phase, every season, literally it is. And if we were to, I've talked about seasons before, but you go through this soul shock, what the F's going on sort of energy. Then you learn to how to alchemize and bring that down. Then you end up then you go through this phase of really like, you're coming out of that ego death, but you're still going through a lot of heavy oscillations to clear old dense energies that don't belong to you, because you're ascending into singularity, into oneness. Okay, and I will explain that at the end of this video. So you are one at an energetic level. Okay, and so that's why I'm saying your mind energies, once that soul recognition happened, is pulling your own inner masculine energy away from you, and you want to bring it back. Okay, you bring it back by centering on yourself, focusing on yourself. One of the other sort of seasons that you go through is then you start coming into balancing your own inner masculine. You end up shedding all those layers that don't belong to you anymore. You're looking at your own patterns, your limiting beliefs, and all of that's all coming up to be observed, and to go, where's this come from? So it doesn't keep playing out in your life, because this is an ascension. Then you'll go into this sort of phase of really start anchoring in that inner union, and then it flows into union. But Inner union is that you're really starting to feel a lot more peaceful. You have got this journey. You are really out of what's playing out in 3D. You're really focused on just anchoring this in. You've cleared a lot of these belief patterns that are just not true. You've created new belief patterns. And then you sort of start moving into the union. You're now in your frequency, and you'll dip in and out of it, but eventually you'll stabilize that more and more. What's going on energetically here is the masculine's energy is now coming back, and you'll feel the third energy coming through. What was torn apart is now coming back. Now the soul, through this whole timeline, let's say it's over a period, and please don't have a little moment when I say years, but let's say it's 3 years, right? Because this seems to be a bit of an average, but not complete. So please don't set an expectation here. It's just what I see and observe. But it is, and I'm talking an average, right? So just, I know that lots of people were awakened years ago, but I'm talking more recent. So you will feel as you're coming in, as you stabilize your frequency yourself, right? You're now standing as your own pillar of light, and you're very balanced. What you'll feel is now you're embodying your dominant polarity, right? And that third energy. This is my explanation, by the way. So this will either resonate or it won't, but just remember, this is my explanation. I'm not saying this is set in gold. I'm not this, I don't see all of the soul. I see a big chunk of mine. But the third energy comes, and you'll feel that you'll be in your feminine polarity, and you'll be anchoring it in even more and really just loving life, actually. And this masculine energy is coming in to anchor you in energetically, and you'll feel it. It stabilizes you. You start to have more clarity. You start to have more focus. You can just get shit done, basically, but you're doing it in a different frequency. You're doing it in your natural state of being, your beautiful soul frequency, and then that will start to manifest in the physical through the masculine, right? As within, so without. So it's all about in here first. Now, let's circle this back for a moment, because if you are new on this journey, you're going to listen to this and go, I just don't understand, I don't get it, and it's okay. The reality is as you shed your beliefs and shed all these layers, you will start to have a little bit more like, okay, this is bigger than just a hookup with somebody or a relationship. You'll start to see that your 3D reality will start crumbling away. Some is a little bit slower than others, mine, and it typically what goes is what you're physically attached to. Codependency is a massive layer that needs to be shifted on this journey. It's probably one of the biggest ones, is codependency, and your twin will not come in and stay with you when there's any codependency there. You've got to release the whole lot. What you're releasing here is you're not letting go of the twin. That's impossible. There are so many signs around synchronicities. The universe is not asking you to let go. What it's asking you to do is come into your beautiful soul frequency, cultivate a connection, and realize your soul, surrender to the soul so it can bring everything that's in your soul blueprint. And that happens to be the twin, the abundance, purpose definitely comes online. New friendships, might be a new city. Soul is always aligning you, and it's uncomfortable at times. Like there's days where I still go, I just want to get off this journey because the energy is so intense at the moment. But it does get easier, it definitely gets easier. You definitely shift, and you definitely become the embodiment of your soul frequency as much as we can align to it in this lifetime. So I just want to get clear that this is about you coming into alignment, okay? And then everything else reflects in your external world. And it is a process. It's not something that's just going to happen in 5 minutes. The connection builds within you. You've got to bring, the other thing, when you bring the energy back to you, you will realize that because the mind plays tricks, the mind believes that person's making me feel amazing. But I can guarantee if you put that energy into another body, you'd be chasing that body. It's just the energy. So when you resonate with this, bring the energy back to you, you start to feel all that goodness and that love and that beautiful feeling that you felt with your masculine. You start to feel it in here, and it builds within you. And you realize that it was never them all along making you feel amazing. It was the energy. And that's why You don't want to reject this masculine energy because it's yours. It belongs to you, and it helps anchor you in. It helps stabilizes you. So, but whatever you're in the mind about it, you are pushing and you're rejecting the masculine. I will tell you a little secret. They reflect you like this. Okay? Now, what often happens on this journey, and it happened to me, is we go, screw you, I'm going to go on a dating app. I'm going to go find me somebody else if you're going to treat me like shit, basically. Right? That's how we go. That's conditioning, whatever else. Guess what they go do? They do it straight away. They make the same choices or similar choices to you. That's what I mean, that we reject them. We reject, I'm not talking about the physical, I'm talking about the energy. So you are being shown that you're rejecting me because in the physical. Now I know that's going to be like, what the hell? That's just blowing my mind up, Kathleen. But that's what plays out. They reflect you. So if you go off and do that, trust me, they are going to go and follow it because that is your fear-based energy out on display. Well, they're not going to be in my life. I'm going to go find me somebody else to fill my big void that's just come on board. And they will literally do the same thing. And then what happens is then we find out and then we get into the egoic structure and all shit hits the fan, right? That's where the chaos starts for twins. I'm telling you now so that you have this beautiful piece of wisdom that pours out of me. They reflect you. They are literally you in another body, but they're the opposite aspect of you. Okay, so they are going to play out the masculine energy plays in the physical world, and so they're going to show you through the laws of the universe, through duality, that you're rejecting me, or you're rejecting not them, you're rejecting a part of yourself. Okay, because you're saying I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm going to go find someone else to fill my void, instead of coming inwards and learning, how do I collapse the void? How do I learn to come into soul and be comfortable in my own skin, right? Oneness, I'll just finish off here. Oneness is when the energies are completely merged and balanced, and it's just beautiful. It's a very, very different connection. Now, before I sign out, I have the visions for me. My gifts at the moment are just going off the charts. Sorry if you can't see me properly. The sun is going down. My visions are just like off the charts. I've always had lots, but it's just really fired up in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And it's all about twins, divine union, twins. Anyway, I had one, and I don't always catch the words just because I'm just in la la land. But this other day, and I had this suddenly epiphany on my Awakening Meraki group today, because I did a group coaching session in there. And so that it said the words I would say the words normal, but it was actually normally, and it was spelled Normali. And then it had the word twins after it. And I thought, what's this? So I was Googling what this word means. Now, I've been saying for quite some time that I just think we overcomplicate this journey. And we just need to start to normalize it, right? So I'm sitting there plaiting this away today, and then I suddenly went, that's what it means. It's normalizing the twin flame journey, because more are awakening. This is how connections are going to be built on this planet. And yes, we are the leaders and the way shows. And I know some people don't like to hear it, and you don't even need to agree. If you don't agree, that's fine. But I fully resonate with what my soul is guiding me, and the downloads that I get and the visions that I get. And I was the most logical person on this planet. I'm sure I was. Anyway, I'm probably not, but I like to dramatize myself. But we are definitely paving the way here. And it's often talked about the first waves of twins. They were really here anchoring in some frequency onto the planet, and then the next wave comes through, and that's why these unions are happening a lot faster and faster. So it is going to become normal. This is how connections are going to be in thousands of years. Balanced, beautiful, harmonious connections in families, all your relationships, not just with the twin. And that's why we're clearing out all these karmic cycles. That's why all these energies, and that's why people come back into your life to show you, are you still in these old energies and these old patterns? and it can be really intense. So just know that you're being guided, and the key here is to listen to your soul. I will always guide you back to soul. I can certainly help teach you and guide you to really connect in with soul, connect in with your higher self. That is what this journey is ultimately about. But I wanted to it's a bit longer than what I was anticipating, but I wanted to really just throw in there that we actually reject them by our actions through our fear-based actions. Now, I know some will say, oh, but they were already married and all this kind of stuff. The same thing applies, right? It's just that when you I mean, when if you're in that dynamic, 'cause I was not, where you're both married, if you focus on, well, I'm just going to stay in my marriage, right? Even though you're not happy in it, they will stay in theirs. They will reflect that back to you. So just know that this is your energy and you want it back, and we reject them through our fear-based actions that follow. And I know it's uncomfortable, but it's the only way for us to learn, is to have this, person that's just like some goddess, godlike image that we all just think we fall in love with, and really it's just the energy. And I'm not trying to make that lighten that, because I know it's not, right? It's a beautiful, deep connection that you have with this person. It's your soul connection. And that's why you've got to come into soul, and you will start to resonate with these words as you shift more. So anyway, if you need some help and support, you know where to find me. As always, sending so much love.